Basketball fans, welcome back. So APR are up 2-0 and they managed to beat MBB 103-81 was the final score. So APR are just on a demolition derby. So they came off beating the Nairobi Thunder yesterday and today they have beat MBB. So they are up 2-0 alongside the Al Ahly Tripoli, and this game was great. Shooting wise, the APR team had no weak spots in this one, and they shot 53% from the field, 65% on 2 point field goals, and 36% from downtown. So they're able to shoot better than MBB. MBB struggled in their shooting splits, and at the free throw line is where it was crazy because both teams were fouling a lot, and 55% for APR and 70% for MBB. So this game was a very interesting game because earlier on you could see MBB were fighting back on APR, and at some point the game was very close, and both teams were fighting, and APR busy defending home court. And later on in the second half, the APR team put the hammer down to the point where the MBB team had no fighting chance to be able to get back in this game. And I was waiting for Yusuf Endoy to be able to show up. He was not able to show up in the game against the Nairobi Thunder. That game was for Diarra. But Yusuf Endoy was another guy that I was monitoring closely. He has been balling out for Senegal. And in this one, he came alive and he dropped 25 points, and he was great and also grabbed 9 boards as well. So I was waiting for this guy to turn up, and he turned up in this game against MBB, and I am very excited to see this guy back on. The APR team, they had 50 rebounds, 27 assists, and 6 blocks. This game was one of the solid games I've seen APR have following the loss that they gave the Nairobi Thunder. So I feel like APR this year might be their year. This year they might be able to finish top in the Nile Conference and be able to go to the playoffs, because last year in the Sahara Conference they really fought and they finished fourth in the Sahara Conference, and subsequently them getting knocked out. But this might be that year they're able to break through. And Yusuf Endoy led the charge, 25 points. Alou 22. Alex Mpoyo with 12. Alou had a double-double of his own. And this is the second straight game he has averaged a double-double, 22 and 14 boards. Alou led in rebounds. Then Yusuf Endoy, 9 boards. And Habimana had 8 total assists. Obadiah Noel had 6. And Gemma Randall had 6. So APR were all over the place on this one. And the thing that I like about APR is, regardless of how they start the game, they can start off the game solid, but they know when to pull the trigger and finish the game. And that's the same thing that we saw yesterday against the Nairobi Thunder. So the APR team knew that they're always on top of their game, to the point where, regardless of how they start, the way they finish off the second half, and especially the fourth quarter, where they put the hammer down, that's where they decide that this game is ours. And this game was a very close encounter. The APR team looked like they were gonna drop this game, but APR put the hammer down at the fourth, and this game just went away. And APR had a quarter high 30 points in the fourth and 28 in the third. So this was the second half performance that led to them being able to win this game. And shooting wise, APR, that shooting 53% from the field, that was the difference, because MBB really struggled with 36% from the field, 41% on 2 point field goals, and 31% from downtown. So that decline in shooting splits for MBB made sure that they were not able to close the deficit. And the total fans in attendance in this one was 4,946, and this was a very good number for the home team. But we had to see these numbers get beat by what we saw in the Sahara Conference. The Sahara Conference at one game even recorded like upwards of 9,000. So yeah, we're waiting to see if there's going to be a surge in people following these games. But all in all, this is a very good game. But if you look at the MBB side, we have Tifal Leonard Jr. He had 20. He led the MBB team with 20 points. Jovan Mooring, he had 17. Peter Prinsloo, he had 13. Nathi Sibanioni, he had 7 boards. Peter Prinsloo had 5 boards. Jovan Mooring had 6 assists in this one. So this game for the MBB team, it was just a coming out party. I didn't rate them highly to be able to get out of this matchup, to be able to come up victorious against the home team, because I knew for a fact APR and Al Ahly Tripoli are on a collision course. And in day 3, you're going to see these two teams play, and the Nairobi Thunder versus MBB. So this is going to be one of those matchups where it's going to be earth shattering. And I really like the way the solid start for MBB, because it gives us a snapshot as to what to expect for the Nairobi Thunder. I'm rooting for the Nairobi Thunder in this one, and they are the team that comes from my country, and hopefully the Thunder can be able to bounce back and go ahead and get their first win on MBB, but that's not a guarantee. They have an off day tomorrow, so games are going to resume in a day's time. So MBB in this one, they'll also have a day to rest. But looking at how these two teams played, I must say I'm very excited to see, very good basketball being played by APR, and must say this might be that year that they come able to break through. And given the performances and given the talent that they have on the roster, the acquisition of Yusuf Endoy, Alo Diarra, Jamal Randall, Alex Mpoyo, Dane Miller Jr. had a quiet game in this one. He only had 5 points, 2 of 2 from the field. He can go off in any given game, given the situation, and he's one of those assets that the APR team have that they can use at any time when they have like an issue with scoring. But luckily enough, APR have a lot of firepower on offense, and they're able to go ahead and do it. So we had 4 players scoring 10 points or more, and they in pretty good shooting splits. Because if you look at Alodiar, he was 9 of 13, 69%. Yusuf Endo, he was 55% from the field and 5 of 7 from the line. And he attempted a couple of threes, but none of them went in. And if you look at Alex Mpoyo, this is a guy that is deadly from downtown, and he was 4 of 4 from downtown. So he made all of his shots there, but he missed out on 2 point field goals, but his 3 point shot was undeniable. So this is a very good game, and all in all, I'm very excited to see this. If you look at the APR team, they are the team to beat, and Al Ahly Tripoli, those are the teams that they can even be like the 1 and 2, but it depends on whose O has to go. Because if we see the team that goes up 3-0, that's the team that most likely will be able to clinch like the first spot, and the other 2 spots are going to follow. So yeah, I like the way APR played. They led in total rebounds, assists, bench points, second chance points, and fast break points. They were all over the place. And although they dropped in points from turnovers, they only had 17 points from turnovers. Still, they were the APR team. They still were solid in that one. So a lot of good things from the APR side, because if you look at APR, they're able to get that first win against the NBC Thunder. They had a very good point differential, and looking at how they have been scoring, the 103 points in this game and the 92 points they won against the Thunder gives them a very good point differential, and they still maintain their number 1 spot. And this is going to be a very very interesting one, because the team that is able to maintain the number 1 spot, they they are shooing to be able to see if they can be able to go ahead and qualify. So I'm very much excited on this, and this is very it's awesome. It's awesome, and I'm waiting to see how things are gonna pan out on this one, and hopefully we can be able to see teams clinch, and the team that is going to go ahead and go up 3-0, they're going to go ahead and clinch it. So I'm waiting to see that. Statistically, uh, the APR team just check all the boxes, and I'm waiting to see how things are gonna pan out on that one. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comments section. What you think about this? I mean, this matchups, these games have been they have been for the ages, and I really enjoyed watching these games because I took some time to after the Thunder game against Al Ahly Tripoli. I made sure to watch it. So currently, APR are seated at the number one spot. I don't think there's a situation where they can be able to drop it, but there's a high likelihood that if they're able to go up 3-0 and continue with their winning, they can be able to clinch the be able to clinch the sixth spot. Then the seventh and eighth will be determined by the 2 and 3 seeds. So it is what it is. So do drop me a comment down in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified because I'm going to be releasing tons of content of this nature. And I'm out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.